Richard,
Hey, Colin, good morning.
good morning. I heard you were motivated.
I am motivated. I'm so freaking motivated.
He's so motivated.
So-
But I heard you were motivated. You're a motivator who was motivated. Is this true?
Yeah, I mean, I have to tell you, I don't need a lot of external motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably my own worst enemy, critic, all of that. But
Same.
I was in Palm Springs, California last week for a Ford gathering. And we had two speakers. Now, it was a small group, it was 125 people,
Okay.
which was pretty cool. So it was a small group, and we had, are you ready? Surprise. And this was all, nobody knew this was going to happen.
Okay.
We had first, Jerry Jones spoke to us,
Man,
the owner of the Dallas Cowboys.
that's incredible.
I mean, he's like 10 feet away, just, and then he sat down with us and had dinner.
All right.
So cool. And I'll reference, if anybody really wants to understand Jerry Jones, first of all, he talks from his heart, not his wallet. And you can absolutely confirm that if you go to YouTube and look at Jerry Jones / Landman speech.
And he's self-made.
And he's self-made.
Right.
And so I listen to him and I love it. But the speech, by the way, just the speech is one of the most heartfelt, wonderful speeches. And I think it's something we can probably all relate to. But then, and by the way, everything was on the table. Nobody said, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. You could talk about whatever you want. Jerry Jones finishes. Who comes next? The Terry Bradshaw.
Oh, man.
Okay. And again, with Terry, and I asked Rob Caffel, who was the guy in charge of it for Ford, and he's like the market for the United States. I mean, he's everything.
Right.
And I asked him, and he told me that not a word of that was scripted. There was no prompter. Terry was just talking.
Jeez.
Listen, he said he looked at Jerry Jones, who was, again, 10 feet away from him on stage, straight in the face. And he made fun of Jerry Jones all night. And he said to Jerry Jones, listen, I don't know why you paid that dude $250 million. What did he do? What's he done for you?
Oh, man.
And of course, you know who we're talking about, right?
Right.
So he says, what has he done for you? You pay him $250 million, Jerry. I could have saved you a lot of money. Just pay me 25 and I'd have won you 4 Super Bowls.
Well, let me ask you this. I don't want to interject, but did both of those gentlemen seem, is part of their lure and part of their radiance that they're authentic?
100%, both of them. 100%. It wasn't a speech. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't words written for them. And Terry Bradshaw kept saying, man, I get nothing from this. I mean, Jerry comes down, he flies down, picks me up in his personal helicopter, and I get to see how the other side lives. and it was that real. I mean, it was, one of the most enjoyable events that I think I've experienced in my life, not just with Ford, but in my life. It was that fun.
Wow. That seems incredible in so much as their ability to relate to people and motivate without expressly saying they're trying to motivate. I think that's a big thing.
Well, they're telling their story.
Right.
And so Terry kept saying, nobody came to me with anything. All I want was a Raptor. He said, and by the way, I'm a Ford guy. Everything I have on my ranch is Ford. But you would have thought, I want a Raptor. You'd have thought somebody would have given me a Raptor. So, of course, what am I thinking? I'm going to give him a Raptor. And
right.
A new spokesperson. And then, of course, on stage, they gave him a new Raptor.
Oh, man. Yeah, you were ahead of them.
I was ahead of them. They took my glory.
Ruined their stick a little bit.
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw, Terry Bradshaw yelled at me once?
I'm not surprised, but why?
Well, no, and it was, okay, he was in the middle of this thing about being at odds with the Rooneys and whatever, all of that kind of stuff, and he was finally coming back. Well, he also has this is it bourbon, I think, that he
He
markets or whatever?
does. He does.
Yeah. So he was coming on my show, and this PR person says, "Hey, we're only going to ask him questions about bourbon." And I'm like, "Okay, fine, sure." And so I asked him like 2 or 3 questions about bourbon, and I'm like, "I'm not going to have Terry Bradshaw on and not ask him about this." And so I asked him about the Roonies, and he was like, "Hey, I thought this conversation was about bourbon." And I said, "Well, it was. That part of it's over. We got to talk about it. I'm not going to have you on my show and not talk about coming back to Pittsburgh and the Roonies." And then the PR person like broke into the phone line. It was like a 3-way call for a second. And then Terry Bradshaw goes, "No, I got it. It's okay." But yeah, and he tackled it. But I wasn't going to have him on and not nobody. I don't want to say nobody, but I don't know who wants to hear Terry Bradshaw for 9 minutes talk about alcohol.
Well, actually, that he can do that and make it entertaining. He can, but I love the fact that you interrupted, and I love the fact that he said, "Hey, I can handle that." Because
Right.
that is how authentic he is. But he talked about his bourbon, and he said he here's how he tied it into the conversation.
Uh-huh.
He said, "I ended my career." He said, I never thought about the money. Money wasn't that wasn't my motivator. I signed for $300,000. Money wasn't my motivator. What my motivator was these four. He showed his Super Bowl ring. Was these 4 Super Bowl rings, these 4 Super Bowl trophies. That's what I cared about. He said, "Hell, why would anybody put me in the Hall of Fame? I ended my career with a 59.1% completion percentage, right?"
Uh-huh.
And this is where he tied it back. He said, "Oh, and by the way, what do you think my bourbon proof is?"
59.1.
9.1.
Well, here's the thing about Bradshaw, though. He was a gigantic big game player. Like in big games, he showed up. And he also understood his place on team in that he had so many great players around him. And it wasn't for as much. This is a good conversation. For as much of the show that he is now in the show, he understood how winning meant getting everybody involved. He was the ultimate team player. He didn't need to be the star every game.
Yeah, I'm not sure I know that. I assume maybe, and I've heard that, but I'm not sure I knew it. But you can see it. And you know, I used to love the conversations about Terry Bradshaw's not smart. Well, okay, look at him. Look at us.
Well, and the other part too is he got booed unmercifully in his early days here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because of the way it ended. Right.
Well, and at the beginning when he took over, you know, that was a fickle crowd back then.
Was Terry Hanratty? Is that who it was?
Yeah, Joe Gilliam and those guys. I mean, they wanted both of them. And the crazy part was that was more of a rabid Philadelphia type crowd back in the day because they hadn't won ever. And then they started to win. And then the expectation was, oh, we don't want to go back to what that was. Like, it was a tough crowd in the mid 70s. In all the reading that I've done, they were ready to boo you at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, and still are, by the way.
Yeah.
As indicated by the way they booed Mike Tomlin still, and Aaron Rodgers. So it's interesting though, because if you look at Terry Bradshaw, the physical part of Terry Bradshaw, there's a lot of similarity to Ben Roethlisberger.
Uh-huh.
Right? Big, strong, and there is a young man in the draft who I think I really like that has that same kind of stature.
Who's this?
6'5". He's 6'5". What's his name? He played for Miami, almost won the championship.
Oh, the quarterback from Miami. You like him?
Love him.
Huh.
Love him.
I just don't think they need a quarterback yet.
Oh, they do.
No.
Oh, they do.
It all depends. You might as well ride it out another year. See what happens.
Why?
See what happens.
Play the see it happens game. You can't. Listen, look what the Pittsburgh Penguins have done in a season of turmoil. They changed their whole head coach, their whole philosophy, and Kyle Dubas is appearing to be a genius for
maybe. Hey, Penguin story is the same story. No. You get caught up in this every year. You get caught up in this every year because a couple cowboy hats fall down from the ceiling. You get way too into the NHL regular season. You're a prisoner of the NHL regular season, where it absolutely doesn't matter. And
I'm a prisoner to Chris Letang.
you are. And look, what goes on in the playoffs in that sport is probably even more important than the NHL. Like, just get in and it all resets. And they haven't been able to advance in the playoffs or do much. That is the ultimate barometer in that sport. You got to win in the playoffs in the NHL.
They will. How about Malkin coming back and scoring?
He was very good the other night when he came back. Like, very good.
They can beat anybody. That's what they proved.
They can. He can also lose his mind at any time and do something super silly.
Well, first of all, I don't think what he did was super silly. I think it was super over penalized. Five games. I think it was ridiculous.
I think he should have got 2.
Yeah, well, 2, 1, something less than 5.
Nobody's going to screw with him anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, well, it's good
I mean,
because it's almost like watching a football game, and the guy that reacts is the guy that gets the penalty.
Right.
Malkin reacted. The initial move on him was worthy of a smack in the head, right? So, I don't blame him for that. And I think he can play. I think that could be a blessing in disguise for him and a new contract.
You know what? It might. It might. Did you watch the World Baseball Classic?
I can't stand it.
I tried. I watched a little. It just makes me understand that Paul Skeens probably isn't going to be here for the long haul, and it makes me sad.
But you knew that right from the beginning, didn't you?
I know, but it reinforces that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we all knew that, and that's the only good thing we have. But Major League Baseball, just remember I'm saying these words, Major League Baseball. Just remember that.
Why?
Just remember it. I'm very cryptic. I'm very cryptic today.
Richard's making a big investment, and Richard's going to buy the Pirates.
Major League Baseball.
You've often said all of your ideas for when you buy the Pirates.
I would love to buy the Pirates.
I know you've talked about this a million times. It's your first love. You loved baseball way back in the day.
We would win year 1.
Here's the thing, though. I don't know if you would survive. All due respect. You would be like a Mark Cuban type owner. You'd sit behind first row behind the plate. You'd be yelling at umpires. You'd be out on the field with a rake and a shovel, making sure the field was perfect, like it was Westfield and Homestead or whatever. Your blood pressure would be insane if you owned a professional baseball team.
I don't want to own any professional baseball team. I would love to own the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I mean, I could see you chasing umpires to their car. I can. I'm being totally serious because you'd almost be too invested because you don't know any other way.
I'm tamed. I'm taming down a little bit.
Okay, sleeping in your office, yelling at the other manager, stuff like that.
Chelsea, Kristen, have I become a little bit?
No, but here's the thing. You would be absolutely invested in every single pitch, not in a bottom line or are we turning a profit or not. Like, are we winning?
Are we winning? Absolutely.
Right.
Because I can't survive in any sport that thinks it's okay to lose as many as you win.
I know.
I can't survive in that. I can't.
But you're the kind of guy that baseball needs, not somebody that treats it like owning a supermarket and let's just turn a profit.
Listen. And Bob Nutting, I'm sure, is a wonderful guy. And I've been invited to tour his bourbon facility, his whiskey manufacturing, which is, I forget the name of it. Wiggle. Yeah. Wiggle whiskey. So, wonderful. And, we did a show the other day and talked a lot about that because I have dabbled in the tasting of bourbons lately.
Oh.
And I've never, in 60 years, I've never, ever had alcohol, ever.
Yeah, you don't need that.
I mean, I've just never. But then all of a sudden one day I decided I like the process. I go home, I put a little drip, and literally a drip in a glass, and I feel like important.
Okay. All right. Sophisticated. Yes.
And then I go, okay, I taste it and I say, this is awful. And I spill it out and go back and do it again the next day.
That's why I drink coffee. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's very similar.
Yes.
Very similar. But so yeah, I mean, you know, I'd love to own the Pittsburgh Pirates, Bob. Sell them to me. I can get an investor, I promise you. I can.
Oh, yeah?
I can.
Oh, man.
I can.
Let's go.
So put it out there. Do we have anybody watching this thing today?
Yeah, tons. Do you have a job for me with this team?
Oh, you'd be front and center.
Good.
Because
Good. I'd protect you. I would protect you from yourself. I think that would be a good job for me.
That would be a good job for you. And you have an immense, wonderful understanding of the game.
Yeah.
You have, I mean, your research and, I mean, everything. You'd be like the Brad Pitt movie.
Oh, Moneyball.
Yeah, which I love.
We'd win. You'd be just going. I'm envisioning this now because it's the same cycle every year. We'll get excited from spring training, promise of a new day, a new dawn.
Never do I get excited for spring training with this team.
No, on the way I do a little bit, and then 20 games in, it's like, what's going on here?
Listen, the only reason that I care is my very, very close dear friend, Patrick DeMeo, who is the Pirates team doctor and the president of every hospital and every organization. And I mean, you can deify Patrick because he's that guy. So that's really the only reason that I care. But just remember what I said. MLB, Major League Baseball. Just remember that.
Last thing, Patrick DeMeo is, and before I let you go, he's such a good guy, but I have a very awkward relationship with him in so much as he's the best guy I know who I kind of truly don't ever want to see.
What?
Because I don't want to get hurt.
Oh, you mean you don't want to see him? You don't want to see him for the
on a professional level? Yeah.
Not that he's going to hurt you.
It's great. There's so many other guys you want to see, like
because he might hurt you.
Right. Like you go to, okay, I get a new car. This is exciting. You never see him in a moment of excitement.
Piss him off sometime.
Gotcha. At Major League Baseball, remember that.
Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball. All right. We'll talk soon.
Love it. Great show.
Major League Baseball.
Major League Baseball.
Gotcha.